If you're a fan of eerie mysteries, then you need to hear about the chilling disappearance of Susan Smith. This story is not just another tale of a missing person. It's a haunting enigma that has left the town of Bradford in a state of perpetual unease. The events that unfolded after Susan's disappearance are so bizarre and spine-chilling that they have become the stuff of local legend. This story will keep you up at night. It all began on a seemingly ordinary day, but what transpired was anything but ordinary. The mystery of Susan Smith's disappearance has layers upon layers of intrigue, each more perplexing than the last. One sunny morning, Susan Smith left her house for a jog. She was a creature of habit, always jogging the same route through the quiet streets of Bradford. Her neighbours would often see her, a familiar figure in her bright running gear, waving cheerfully as she passed by. But on this particular morning, something felt different. There was an eerie stillness in the air, a sense of foreboding that no one could quite put their finger on. She was never seen again. Her sudden disappearance sent shockwaves through the community. Friends and family were baffled. How could someone vanish without a trace in broad daylight? The initial search efforts were frantic, with everyone hoping that she had simply gotten lost or had an accident. But as hours turned into days, hope began to wane. As days turned into weeks, the hunt for Susan intensified. The entire town rallied together, determined to find her. Missing person posters were plastered on every available surface, and search parties combed through every inch of the surrounding area. The local police were relentless, working around the clock to uncover any clue that might lead them to Susan. Police and locals scoured the countryside, but there wasn't a single clue. It was as if Susan had vanished into thin air. The search dogs, usually so reliable, seemed confused and disoriented. The dense woods and sprawling fields offered countless hiding places, but no sign of Susan was ever found. The mystery deepened, and with it the sense of dread that hung over Bradford. Then the strange occurrences began. It started with whispers among the children, who claimed to have seen a ghostly figure in the woods. They described a woman in a white dress, her face hidden in shadows, who would appear and disappear without a sound. The stories spread like wildfire, and soon even the adults began to take notice. Children whispered about a ghostly figure in the woods, a woman in a white dress, her face hidden in shadows. The sightings were always fleeting, but they were enough to send shivers down the spines of those who heard them. Some dismissed the stories as mere figments of overactive imaginations, but others couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more to them. Neighbors heard eerie noises from Susan's empty house. At night, strange sounds echoed through the halls, creaking floors, whispering voices, and the occasional flicker of lights. Those brave enough to investigate found nothing out of the ordinary, but the unsettling atmosphere persisted. It was as if the house itself was mourning Susan's absence, its very walls imbued with a sense of loss and longing. Some even reported seeing a mysterious black van near her home on the day she disappeared. The van was seen by several neighbors, always parked just out of sight, its windows tinted so dark that no one could see inside. The presence of the van added another layer of mystery to the case. Who was driving it, and what was their connection to Susan's disappearance? Detective Carter was assigned to the case, but despite his relentless efforts, he found nothing. Fear gripped Bradford. Detective Carter was known for his tenacity and sharp instincts, but this case seemed to defy all logic. He interviewed everyone who had seen Susan that day, retraced her jogging route countless times, and even brought in outside experts to assist with the investigation. But no matter how hard he tried, the answers remained elusive. Was this the work of a sinister force? The more Detective Carter delved into the case, the more he began to question whether there were otherworldly elements at play. The sightings of the ghostly figure, the eerie noises, and the mysterious van all pointed to something beyond the realm of the ordinary. The town of Bradford was on edge, its residents gripped by a fear that they couldn't quite explain. One fateful night, a group of brave neighbors decided to investigate. They were determined to uncover the truth, no matter how terrifying it might be. Armed with flashlights and a sense of resolve, they made their way to Susan's house, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and anticipation. Flashlights in hand, they entered Susan's house, their hearts pounding. The air inside was thick with tension, every creak and groan of the old house amplified in the silence. They moved cautiously, their flashlights casting long, eerie shadows on the walls. Each step brought them closer to the truth, but also deeper into the unknown. In the darkness, they found a hidden room filled with unsettling objects. The room was unlike anything they had ever seen. Strange symbols adorned the walls, and the air was heavy with the scent of incense. On a table in the center of the room lay a collection of bizarre artifacts, ancient books, peculiar trinkets, and what appeared to be a makeshift altar. A chilling realization hit them. Susan hadn't just vanished, she had been trapped by a terrible curse. The evidence was all around them, pointing to a dark and malevolent force that had ensnared Susan. The room seemed to pulse with a sinister energy, and the group could feel the weight of the curse pressing down on them. With courage and determination, they confronted the malevolent force. They knew that breaking the curse would not be easy, but they were resolved to free Susan's spirit from its torment. They gathered their strength and prepared for the battle ahead, their flashlights now symbols of hope and defiance. In a dramatic showdown, they broke the curse, freeing Susan's spirit from its earthly prison. The room erupted in a whirlwind of energy, the dark force lashing out in a final attempt to hold on to its captive. But the group's determination proved stronger, and with a final burst of light, the curse was shattered. Susan's spirit was released, and a sense of peace settled over the house. The town of Bradford will never forget the chilling disappearance of Susan Smith. Her story has become a cautionary tale, a reminder of the thin veil that separates our world from the unknown. The events of that fateful night have left an indelible mark on the community, and Susan's memory is honored in a yearly memorial service. But now, with her spirit at rest, peace has finally returned. Or has it? The town may have found closure, but the mystery of Susan Smith's disappearance continues to haunt the collective consciousness of Bradford. Some say that on quiet nights you can still hear the faint whispers of her story carried on the wind, a reminder that some mysteries are never truly solved.